Gnostics believe that the God of the Bible is actually Satan, and the Satan of the Bible is actually the Creator, or God. Isaiah actually says something similar. Woe unto those that call good evil and evil good. Actually, Isaiah is talking about those Gnostics. There's a proverb that says, the just man is an abomination unto the unrighteous, and the unrighteous man is an abomination unto the just. The difference between us is obviously our senses or how we perceive good, and I would like to talk about how we perceive good. Now, let me ask you a question. If evil was currently running the world and had been for some time, what signs would you look for to give that away? So I've come up with at least three. So one, suffering in the world. I think there's a lot of suffering, quite evidently. Suffering or pain seems evil to me, especially when it is uncalled for or undeserved, which it not always is. Number two, apathy towards suffering, especially one's own people, seems quite evil to me. That happens. Walking past abject poverty, for example, not feeling anything about it. It's like how do we treat the homeless? How do we treat the unfortunate today in society? How do we treat the outcast? The one that doesn't fit in? How do we treat the sick? Enjoying human suffering. Are there people like that? I think there are a lot of these trolls online, or nameless people. Enjoy seeing people argue, fight, watching, YouTube videos, watching people break their bones, and they love it. They seem to love it. Enjoying human suffering. Number three, intentionally causing confusion in people, especially the innocent and or the diligent. That seems very evil to me, and I see that. Leading people astray willfully and enjoying seeing human potential wasted, or purposefully shielding someone from the truth in order to have them serve you instead. I see that in the workplace. Do you? This attitude of what about putting someone else's candle out so your candle will shine brighter? I see that all the time. Most people are like that. Yeah, to me this is the pinnacle of evil. Is there anybody we can trust who is not like this? Is my next question. Is there anybody we can trust who's not like this? In theory, it's God, the perfect being, our Father, our Maker, our Savior, our Leader. God encapsulates all these things. And because He does, He is good. Good. Now, can we identify any of the aforementioned, the three things I mentioned, three traits in the God that we serve? If we can, it's fair to say it's probably not God, hey? But maybe you have your own criteria. That's some of the criteria I use. But when I thought about it, Jesus of Nazareth addresses all three criteria positively. And I'll walk you through that if you got a minute. Because he is against suffering. He came to heal the sick. He came to give sight to the blind. He came to free the captives, free the prisoners, preach deliverance, and destroy the Lord of the dead and his works. Evil are the works of Satan. Hating your brother, jealousy, lies, murder, deceit, envy. So Jesus finally wants to defeat death himself, apparently. Paul tells us that in the New Testament. Death is the last enemy. Death and all suffering will end when Jesus returns to judge the world, according to the New Testament. And in the new earth, in the new heavens and the earth, there will be no more those former things, because there will be no more sin, no more pain, no more suffering. Ironically, Jesus has to die to achieve this. Because he's taking the penalty of sin away from those who committed it. That's you, me, everyone. And then he rises from the dead. He promises life forever to those that believe on him, who trust in him, choose to trust in him, in his plan, in him, in everything, and what he's done for us. To trust that he can save us. He promises him life forever. Not just life, but fullness of life. No more suffering in the age to come. He was mistreated, misunderstood, and finally murdered, so he can relate to humans' own worst experiences of suffering. So that's number 2. And sits at the right hand of God now, where he'll be able to judge when he comes down the second time. He'll actually be judging wrongdoers, except those who trusted in his righteousness in him. So he's not far from us. He understands what it means to be tempted, what it means to suffer. Sometimes, in his case, not deserving it at all. And sometimes we suffer, not deserving it at all. Other times, it's because of our decisions. So he even treats our own insecurity from our own guilt and moral failings, is another way to put it, by promising forgiveness, paying the consequences of our own worst enemy, ourselves, at times. Is for all men and women and child, because he created it. He created all. We know God has created all. It's one of the things we associate with God, the Maker. And he promises, he calls all men and women back to him. The Jew and the Gentile, the free and the enslaved, and there are a lot of people enslaved today. We don't use the word slave. Rich and poor, puts no difference between anybody. He's equitable in that sense. So as much as, personally, and maybe other Christians, like in this world, as much as we are, times we get confused, feel like we're behind, isolated, outnumbered at times, inconvenienced, seemingly low on resources. It seems to us, and we're convinced of it, apparently. That God's grace yesterday is enough. First offering today.